if a job is assigned to someone and that person creates a horrible result, what do you think that would be the most acceptable professional way to go about it?
Well, first of all, I think most of the time an employee, and I think you're talking about an employee or somebody who, let's say, reports to me. That's what you're talking about, that situation? And they do a terrible job?
Yeah, so basically they did a terrible job, but now
okay, so first of all, I recognize that maybe 80% of the time it's my fault, because either I didn't give a good instruction, I didn't explain what I wanted done. That is very, very common. So that's number one. Number two, maybe I hired the person or I selected the person who doesn't have the skills or the mindset, doesn't know how to do what I'm asking. So in both of those cases, that's my fault. I have picked the wrong person or I've not explained properly what I want. Very often, that's the reason why somebody doesn't do something well. If they, let's say, those things are good, but they still haven't done it well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think then you have to have a conversation and try to figure out why they didn't do it well. But most of the time it's because that's just not who they are. Dogs bark, cats meow. You'll never get a dog to meow. You'll never get a cat to bark. And I'll tell you a little story of what I mean by that. There was somebody I worked with at two different companies. First, he was part of my team. I had about 25-person team at a company, and he was very junior, a test engineer at that company. And then later, when I had started my own technology company, one of the people who I hired, who I'd worked with at numerous companies before and led the test engineering, hired this same person. And he was terrible at his job. He was not doing what we needed him to do. We were asking him to very rigorously test these prototypes and record the information and write detailed reports. And he was terrible at that. But what we realized was he was super good at getting a first test done, kind of a really rough test, to give us a feel for things, to give us a feel for the prototype. So he was a cat, and he liked to meow. He wasn't a dog. We were asking him to be a dog and to bark. So what we did was we just basically changed his job. We said, okay, when we have a new prototype, we have some new ideas about a test. Let's get this person, to quickly do a quick setup, because he'll do it quickly. The results, we won't use them in the future, but we'll get a first feel. And once we get that, then we'll hand the further tests to somebody else who will really focus on the details. Right. So